Hey guys, welcome back to the Hey Peanut Sports Show, brought to you by St. Barnabas, 99.3, 95.7 WBVP and WNBA. Also for you transistors, it's 12:30 a.m. and 1460 a.m. on your AM dial. I'm excited tonight. We are down here on the corner of 7th Avenue and 12th Street for the Hey Peanuts first on-location airing. Please come down here tonight. They're doing a great new show here for the Coaches Corner Reunion.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of local stars, coaches, 6 to 9 p.m. They're going to do it right after this show. They're going to come in. It's going to be exciting. You don't want to miss it. Speaking of the Jus1More Sports Bar, tonight's special is the anti-pasta salad Pittsburgh style.
What does Pittsburgh style mean? I wonder why. I'll have to ask about that one.
I would have thought you would know what Pittsburgh style.
I know. I should know.
How do you say style in Yinzer?
Style. I don't know. Not ow.
So anyhow, they got a lot of specials going on this next week, throughout the week. Monday is trivia night with whole wings. Taco Tuesdays. Wednesday is obviously antipasta Pittsburgh style.
Right
Thursday is wing night, 42 different flavors. Friday night's the best fish sandwich in Beaver County, and Saturday, and it's karaoke night with Busy Bee on Friday night. There's not a request they can't get on the karaoke for you. And then on Saturday night is Jesse James, the one-man band, takes requests. So I always like Jesse James. He always brings out a good crowd. So
If you can't get down here tonight, get down here one of those other nights.
absolutely, but I suggest coming down here tonight. The weather's nice right now. They're setting up the canopies and stuff for people just in case there's a little bit of rain, and they're calling for a little bit of rain, but I don't think it's going to dampen the mood here or damper the environment.
There's a nice
I'm
breeze,
excited.
too, so it's nice out here.
I'm excited. I get to sit around. I'm going to stay after the show, meet a few people. I hope you guys do too. I hope to see you come on down and maybe get to meet Brian. He's the good-looking guy on the show. So, anyhow, it's time to go to the TAMKO Sports Break. And with the Sports Break, we've got lots of them. Last night at the 2023 All-Star the All-Star game, I got the wrong page here.
Yeah, the National League. They won, 3-2?
Well, I wrote something.
Came down to
Brian.
the ninth.
Last night, the National League defeated the Americans 3-2 in the 2023 All-Star game with a 2-run blast in the 8th by Elias Diaz. It was a lot tighter than the past. For me, All-Star games usually get kind of blown out. 3-2 game was really good. Shows how much stronger the pitchers are.
Kimbrell came in and closed that game out.
All the big hitters that were there,
The
and it
veteran.
just the pitching over hitting. Pitching over hitting.
That's usually what happens in the playoffs.
And then in the home run derby on Monday night, it was won by Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and he finished second last year, so I'm sure that's a good monkey to get off of his back. He always wanted to get it, and he gave credit to his dad at the end of the thing. It's a really great story, that kid.
That was a nice win, but he won by, I think, 2 home runs. And in the finals, it was odd because he got a bonus minute, and the other guy only got a bonus 30 seconds. And I guess you have to hit at least 2 home runs 420 feet or further
Correct.
to get the full minute bonus. So I felt like it was a little unfair that you got an extra 30 seconds.
It was definitely an interesting format. There was no Chris Berman.
Back. Annoying.
So, but I thought the commentary was good. The hitting was insane. It was completely different. And you look at the history, King Griffey Jr. won it one year, and he had, 7 home runs in the final, and 1 by 1. And then you have last night, and it's the guy that lost, I got second place in the semifinals. He had 35 home runs.
Well, he
and
sat
still
for 47 minutes in between the semifinals and the finals. And Guerrero went second in the semifinals, and then he went first in the finals, so he didn't sit at all. I have no idea how he kept swinging the bat like that.
He looked like he was going to pass out when he was in it. He was just dying, and then they do a timeout. You're allowed to take a timeout, which he did. Some guys didn't. And he took a timeout, and every time he did, they always run over and do an interview. And he's like, yeah, I'm just trying, But it's great to see, I thought, the camaraderie amongst the players from different teams and how they were,
Did you see
real
the uniforms?
supportive of each other. Yeah, it was interesting. I like it better when they did, you wore your own uniform and then it had a special patch.
Right. So you'd be representing.
Now it's a special uniform and the patch has your team on it. It's a little bit different, but it was definitely okay. The All-Star game was, like I said, it was good. I would rate it on a scale from 1 to 10. I give it a 9 compared to these All-Star type games in the past. Like, who cares?
Well, I mean, imagine watching the NBA All-Star game.
Don't care.
How
to watch
boring
it.
is that? At
Don't
least
care.
this is people trying.
Football, same way. The Pro Bowl, I don't really care because they're not going to hit each other. There's too much involved. There's too much money involved with the players.
Right.
You just can't have that. And so let's get on to my favorite subject. We're just going to try to keep this going as fast as we can because, I'm excited. Pirates resume play Friday night against the Giants here at PNC Park. I think it's at 7 o'clock, 7:05. Lots of free giveaways. They're going to be giving away everything now because we're kind of behind, but then they want to keep those fans in the stands. But I don't know how you do it when you come off 41-49 at the break and you started 20-8 in the season. So I just don't know how that's going to happen. I did see progress in the last game. We always see progress in the last game before our show because they seem to win the game before our show.
And then they lose the next 3.
Right. So maybe somebody will sponsor us to go on every night, Brian, and then they'll win every game from here to the rest of the season.
All right, Pirates,
I don't see
sponsor
that.
us.
I don't see that's going to happen, but just the same. I did see a little bit of progress. They did the last game they played. They did something similar to a lot of teams are doing. I haven't seen them do it much this year. The Pirates just pitch just start with nobodies, and they pitched 7 or 8 pitchers throughout the game and somehow pulled it out.
I don't know if you remember about 6 shows ago or so. My buddy, I was talking to him on the way up, and he's a Phillies fan, and he says they haven't had a 5th starter for 3 years, and they just do this constantly. So just a bunch of bullpen guys, and maybe call up a AAA guy.
Maybe you see somebody in that type of scenario and go, you know what, this guy can handle it. He hasn't been up here, but you know what, he did good in his inning or his 2 innings.
Right.
And let's keep him around. And you really couldn't handle the mound. You couldn't handle the big stage because, you just couldn't do it. And so at least we know now.
They got the win.
And they got the win. I like us against San Francisco.
The Giants are 49-41, the mirror image of the Pirates record.
And I always like the McCutcheon's going back. He's going back there for a little bit of, show him, hey.
Well, they're here.
Well, I mean, he's playing against against his team.
Right.
Maybe not going West Coast, but they're playing a West Coast team. So it's the revenge game. I call it these games revenge games when a player plays the team they used to play on. They seem to put a little bit more into it.
Well, he gets the Giants, and then at the end of the month, he gets the Phillies.
Which also he played for.
He was with the Phillies for a couple years as well.
He didn't do nothing against the Brewers, but of course, now he went on the IL right before the break. You just assume with this lengthy time off that they get that everybody's just going to be kind of healthy when they get back, but that's probably not the case. I mean, we're still not going to have O'Neill Cruz.
Yeah, we'll
Brian
see.
Reynolds, I don't think he's 100%, even though his 50%'s better than 100% of Brian Hayes' bat.
We'll get into Brian Hayes next segment if you're all right with that.
I'm all right with that. If you've already got something planned out, I like the Triola kid.
Oh, Triola, he could play just as well in the field almost, and he actually has a stick.
Right. I wish they had a little bit more incentive money for these kids that are coming up making league minimum, and then they perform and they do well. I would assume that there's some kind of bonus. Hey, if you're doing great.
The bonus is if you play well, the Dodgers call and the Yankees call. That's the bonus.
Right. That's just kind of how it goes. So I think he's doing good. I love how Nick Gonzalez is playing. Andy Rodriguez, I wish they would put him a little bit more time. Hedges just does not belong there. I don't have anything personal against the guy. I'm sure he's great there. If he wants to be the catcher's coach, let's do that. The catcher's coach probably makes as much as he does. Let's just let him be that. I don't know, but he doesn't belong there. DeLabe is a better bat, and his catching may not be as good as Hedges, but it's good enough. It's better than most, and his bat is way better than Hedges. And they seem to even the games they lost in these last little stretches, it seems like they would pull him out, put in a pinch hitter, and then put Hedges in as the catcher, and then all of a sudden you got Hedges in the batting in the ninth when you needed a bat.
Yeah, when you need a hit.
And what did you get? You got nothing. You got the end of the game. Kind of disappointed in Bednar in his last outing. He blew a save finally, and right after you're going to the All-Stars. Great. And then you blow a save. We had the lead, and you blew it, and we lost that game. And I kind of called that. It's either something's wrong with him, but either way, I bet you he doesn't pitch in the All-Star game, and he didn't. He got this, even though he won, he got the snub as actually performing.
The last couple weeks, he's been walking guys. and he hadn't walked people all season. I think he had one walk up until about 3 weeks ago, and now he seems to be putting like the first runner on, which is no good.
Yeah, I don't have an explanation for that as far as what's going on with him, but I mean, he made the All-Star game, so.
He didn't
Keller's really doing well. He gave up the earned run against the American League last night.
Right.
Was it second inning?
And and Bednar didn't even get in.
And Bednar didn't even get in. And then the only other Pirate I saw that even played, or even ex-Pirate, would be Garrett Cole. And he was the leadoff pitcher for the American League, and he looked phenomenal. And I just kind of wish you had that P on your hat.
Like when I talk about my ex-girlfriend, and then I talk about the other ex, like there's an ex and an ex-ex. I guess now with him being at the Yankees since he went to Houston, we're like his ex-girlfriend.
Oh, right. So now you have a whole giant city in Texas is going, that was our guy too, you know. But I mean, I think he was. I don't know if you remember that. You remember the World Series, and he's sitting there, and the game was on the line. It was the World Series, and they didn't put him in, and they got a hit, and they lost the World Series, and he was so angry.
I don't like him. I don't like his anger. He's not like a nice Mr. Hulk angry guy. He's just an angry fella.
I don't think Nolan Ryan was a nice person either.
I'm sure Randy Johnson wasn't nice either.
I don't know. Randy Johnson seems like a fun fella. I could be wrong.
So, what do you think?
What did I say? Randy Johnson now is a professional photographer for ESPN.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a different career.
He totally
He's got
went
like the
another
bird's eye view.
Right. I just saw an article on that. I thought that was pretty interesting. I mean, he could do anything he wants, and I guess that's what he wants. It's kind of like the Hey Peanut Sports Show. You know, I wanted to do a sports talk radio show, and here I am, and I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Same with me.
I don't know how much time we have here, Curtis. We're going to get into something else. We ready to go to a break? All right, so you guys have been listening to Beaver County Radio and the Hey Peanut Sports Show, brought to you by St. Barnabas, TAMKO Roofing Building Supplies, and TEK Roofing Specialist. 412-969-1167. This is the season to get a new roof. We're the people to call. We're at 99.3 WBVP and 95.7 WMBA. We're also 1230 and 1460 on your transistor. Beaver County Facebook Live. We'll be right back, and we're going to talk a little bit more about sports. And
maybe some Paul Skeens.
Paul Skeens. Love this.
Make this the year you make all your remodeling dreams come true and call Carver Construction in New Brighton today. Satisfying customers isn't anything new at Carver. They've been doing it since 1982 for both residential and commercial renovations. Let Carver Construction help with your remodeling plans right now. Call 724-847-1572 or visit their website, carverconstructionpa.com. Mitch Carver and everyone at Carver Construction is happy to help sponsor the Coach's Corner Reunion Show Wednesday, July 12th on Beaver County Radio.
The Larry Bruno Foundation 12th Annual Circle of Achievement Banquet will be held on Saturday, July 29th at Shadow Lakes Country Club. There will be 9 inductees this year. Included is the Livingston Scholarship, presented to a CCBC student in law enforcement, and the Tronzo Family Scholarship for a dedicated person who helps others in our communities. The Larry Bruno Foundation consists of members in local sports, artists, music, and business communities. The Circle of Achievement Banquet is July 29th. Call 412-298-1430 to purchase tickets.
When accidents and injuries happen, you need the experience and insight of the legal team at Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George. Since 1934, they've been committed to the physical and financial recovery of personal injury victims. Why choose the law firm of Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George? Attorney Larry Kelly explains.
First of all, we've been AV rated by Martindale Hubbell. It's the highest rating you can get for legal ability and ethics, and that comes from our peers. We have board-certified civil trial specialist, which is like another bar exam. Would you go to a doctor who is not board-certified? Probably not. I've always said, and I tell my daughters, I have 3 daughters who are attorneys. Those in the profession know. The lawyers of LGKG have the respect of our peers, and that's all I ever cared about.
For your free initial consultation, call the law firm of Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George at 724-658-8535 or online at lgkg.com. Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George, keeping promises for over 80 years.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Hey Peanut Sports Show, brought to you by 99.3 WBVP and 95.7 WNBA, also on 1230 and 1460 on your AM. Time for the TAMKO Sports Around the World news. Megan Rapinoe calls it quits after extended Rapinoe.
Yes.
Sorry. Megan Rapinoe.
I'm not a fan. I didn't eat Subway for a while. Continue on.
She calls it quits after extending a career with the U.S. women's soccer team. She said she was doing it because she wanted to better the soccer team and the program, and she's getting old.
And now she wants men to play.
And now she wants men to play on the women's team.
Now that she retired, she all of a sudden wants men to play. And
in motorsports news, John Hunter Nemechek won the Quaker State 400 in Atlanta Sunday. No? That's what it's...
The Xfinity race on Saturday.
The Xfinity race.
Okay.
I'm glad I have Frank here as my fact checker. I thought it was a good story because Joe Nemechek raced for so many years, and it seemed like he never won. But he did win. He did win late in his career. But for many years, and he was a controversial guy for Camel. And this weekend, they're going to be trading stripes out in New Hampshire for the Crayola 301. Correct? That ought to be an interesting. That's one of the new tracks. Right? Well, I know New Hampshire's an old track, but the isn't it that one of the off-on road type things?
Half-mile track. There we go.
Why is
1 mile track.
I wonder why they call it the 301. They just add an extra mile to be different.
It's like darts. You play 501, 301, 701. They just add that extra one because the Miracle Mile, he says, is the name of the track.
Okay. There we go. All right. So we're going to switch back to Pirates. I know more about the Pirates. That was a bad sports break.
So what do we...
sports news. So
it was educational.
Don't listen to me. I'm going to fact check it before I read it next time. That's a good call. Yeah, Frank's the motorsports guy. I mean, he knows all about racing.
So I think what we're going to get into is, I don't know, the Pirates.
What do we got to do? Are we going for it this year, or are we going to be realistic now with this record and go, hey, we're just going to hang back and prepare ourselves to really give it a go next year? And do you think the fans are going to buy that, or going to want to get into that? Are they going to support you on that? And then if they do sell that this season, in the off season when we're all watching football behind the scenes, are they going to get rid of everybody and just say we're starting all over again?
No. They're not going to start over. They have been 21-41 since the 20-8 start.
That's terrible.
That is absolutely awful. And the Reds have brought up all their young guys, and they've caught fire, and they're now 50-41. And I think they're going to run away with the Central. And I don't see any other team catching a wild card from the Central with how poor it is. So my thought is, what about let's do everything right for the 2024 season? What do we need to do this year to start preparing for that?
So I mean, that's your perspective. I don't buy that perspective.
Well, you also said they were going to win 88 games.
I still think they are, and I think the Reds, even though they brought up these young talent and they're really leading and they're doing well.
Hold on,
so we were 20-8, and they were in last place, and you didn't give them a chance. And so, who's to say these young kids from the Reds are all? What if their crews gets hurt? Because that's who's winning the games for them. It's basically one or two guys that are really phenomenal. Yeah, that was great.
2 pitches. Steals 3 bases. I was like, man, who is this guy?
When he stole home, it really blew it because they were all like, I can't believe he just went from first to third. Oh my God, he's going home and it's too late.
He wasn't even drafted. They free agent pickup from the Dominican.
Right, Dominican baseball players have proven to me to be the elite. They're the pedigree you want. I mean, not to sound biased against any other denomination here, whatever. I think the Dominicans are really putting out good baseball players on regular, and it just seems to be some of the best ones. Who won the home run derby? Dominican.
I thought he was Cuban.
I thought Vladimir Guerrero was Dominican.
He's like Bugs Bunny.
No,
strike
he's
one,
Dominican.
strike 2, strike 3, you're out. Strike 1, strike 2, strike 3, you're out.
That's
he's Cuban. So So you're saying go for it. How would you like them to go for it? I mean, they've got the
Claudio Guerrero Jr. is a Canadian-Dominican professional baseball player. Drop the mic. So he's Dominican, not Cuban.
Okay.
Okay.
That's not a mic. That's a phone.
Whatever. You knew what I was doing.
You should have dropped one of these. They would actually heard it.
So, anyhow, back to what we were talking about.
How do they – okay. They're 21-41 in their last 62. How do they change that if you're saying go for it? What are the moves? Because then I'll counter that with what I think they should do for 2024.
I just don't believe, just like that's like telling me you're going to convince Steeler fans last year when they were 1-3, give up on the season. Let's just get rid of everybody and start over. They didn't. We want to win every game. And that's the mentality that got them a winning season. And that's the mentality that needs to stay with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Doesn't matter if you're down. We want to win every game. The point of us coming to the ballpark is for you to try and win the game, not put the best guy out there right now that we got and save this for next year. You're not trying to win the game, and that's the mentality I think we're missing at PNC Park.
Okay, but you're saying win the game. They have 15 games before the trade deadline. How many of those do they need to win before you give up on this season? 15.
I don't know. I mean, what, you're 8 games behind 500? So you got to win 3 out of 4 for the next 3 to 4 weeks?
How do you do that?
Because you do it by playing to win the game. You don't go, oh, okay, let's look at next year. How do you know they don't have the talent?
Because they're 41-49.
That's not that. That's their record. That's not their talent.
They're 21-41 in their last 62.
They're not putting the right people on there. How do you put Holderman? There's a lot of people that shouldn't be up there.
I agree with you on that.
They're not trying to win the game because they're putting these people when you have other people. And we're not bringing up the talent because we have them on arbitration. We need to keep them. We don't want to pay them. And they're not paying them. Even when you bring them up, it's just minimal league pay. So the message I'm getting is we're not trying to win the game. But I did like the move. I did like the move with Paul Skeens. So
before we get into that, hang on 2 seconds.
Let's get back on this. Who do we play down the stretch is another good thing.
We probably play the Brewers a lot, and I'm sure we play
the Cubs and the Cardinals and everybody.
The Reds. But here's my thoughts. This is what you do, and it's playing for this season, but it's also setting yourself up for 2024. You bring up Endy Rodriguez and you put him at catcher. Let him learn on the job. We need a stick there. He doesn't have to play every day. You can play Hedges occasionally. So that puts Davis permanently in right field at that point, right?
Right.
You got Choi and Santana that can rotate at first. But you keep Zawinski in center, Reynolds in left. I say you get rid of Brian Hayes.
Joe Dirt.
And go with Triolo at third. Cruz is going to come back, and when he comes back and plays short, you move Nick Gonzalez over to second.
Okay.
All right. So now you're kind of building your team up for next year, and I think that gives you the best chance to win this year. You add that to next year, your starting pitching could look like Keller, Skeens, Brubaker, Quint Priester. Maybe they re-sign Velasquez. Maybe this Beto
gets good.
Yeah, you got lots of options there. You have like 8 guys that can potentially pitch. But with Keller and Skeens at the top of your rotation,
even we know he's a 1-for-1. Paul Skeens is the 1-for-1 draft pick, and outside of a Tommy John surgery, he is the future, and he's the rare find. But if you look at the draft, we got so many pitchers. We have so many pitchers now, and we don't know enough about them.
Yeah, but none of those guys will be up in 2024. The only one that has a chance.
How do you know? We don't know enough about them. What if they get down there, and then you got this massive arm?
They'll go down to they'll play single A, double A, triple A. The Pirates keep people down forever. The Orioles and the Reds were smart. They just started bringing people up, and now look what the Reds are doing. I'm just tired of watching these guys down in double A and hearing about them for 2, 3, 4 years. Bring them up. Bring them up, let them play. Let's see what they can do. But
where's Swaggerty? What happened to this kid?
Well, his wife has had all those health issues,
I think he just fell off because in preseason he was, or in spring training or whatever you want to call it, down there in Dunedin, Florida. They were this guy was
Yeah, but
just cranking the ball.
He could be your fourth outfielder. I like if a team has 4 outfielders because then you can like sit some guys, rotate that somebody could DH.
I think we need.
I'm fine with that.
I like the whole idea of getting the fifth man in the rotation. We have that 4-man rotation right now, and I just don't like it.
Well,
they try to throw a guy in there, but it's always bad. and I don't know about Rich Hill. I love that he's in the rotation, but then
he's an innings eater. That's all he is.
He's good against certain teams, and certain teams he's not. I think they're figuring it out. It's easy to figure out a 67-mile-an-hour slider than it is to figure out a 94-mile-an-hour
Well, think about
sweeper.
This. Paul Skeens throws 103, throws over 100. His changeup is 90.
He's going to break Ryan. He's going to break Nolan Ryan's record of the fastest pitch. When you say, or he doesn't even. Nolan Ryan had it. I don't know who has it now. Who has
the 2 fastest pitches. I know McCutchen batted against both of them, and one was the Reds closer, and he went to the Yankees. What the heck's his name? I can picture his face.
Not the Wild thing.
No. As soon as you say it, I'll know it. And then this season, McCutchen batted against the second fastest pitch. Chapman was the one. Aroldis Chapman, and I forget who the pitcher that got number 2.
Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah, who has the second fastest pitch because it was against McCutchen as well. Chapman's was years ago, obviously.
Rob Nin. 102. Well, I could have sworn Nolan Ryan had 103.
Well, I think where they judge how fast you pitch has changed over the years too. Like they projected so many feet out, and technology's changed. But
yeah, this list doesn't have Mark Wohlers 103. I mean, most of these guys are definitely not from the older generation.
Whatever that is, it's moving.
I'm still not even seeing Nolan Ryan. I did research some historical things. Can we take a historical Major League Baseball break here? I just want to read a few things.
I'm fine with that.
So, since we're talking about pitchers, my favorite pitcher. What's your favorite pitcher? We'll start there.
My favorite pitcher
of all time.
A.J. Burnett.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I think it's because he's a Pirate. Maybe. I did like A.J. Burnett. He was the Batman, right?
Yeah. Speaking of which, we are in downtown Beaver
I know.
Falls, and I have not seen the Batman.
We've seen the Batman in Beaver Falls?
Did you guys see the Beaver Falls Batman?
No.
Nobody's seen him. Oh, he's Stone Cold Steve Austin now? Man, he's drinking a Coors Light somewhere on some corner down here.
So, my favorite pitcher of all time is Greg Maddux. I think when you look at some of the interesting things he's done over his career, they just jump out at you. And we were watching the All-Star game. This is what inspired me. The All-Star game was talking about how Shohei Ohtani has done so many of these things this year that nobody's done in such a long time or ever done. So, anyhow, Greg Maddux once won a 9-inning complete game throwing only 78 pitches.
Yeah, probably like none of them were balls.
And only 15 of them were not strikes.
Right.
Right. And then
I also like Doc Gooden back like in the 80s. I used to like the Mets back then for a few years.
So, in over the last 40 years, no pitcher has done any of the following in a season. Okay? 300 innings.
Oh, yeah.
A sub 1.50 ERA.
Okay.
And 25 complete games. Bob Gibson did it, all 3, in 1968.
It's how times have changed with pitching.
Isn't it? I mean, you just don't see – they just don't let pitchers pitch complete games.
No, it's all about the metrics. And
now my favorite baseball player, this is my history trivia or just knowledge. I thought this was really interesting because I love playing golf. I think I sent this to you. I don't know if you read it. You probably went, oh, it's about Babe Ruth. I swiped it. But I thought this was really good. During his off-season visits to Hot Springs, Arkansas, Babe Ruth developed his lifelong love of golf. Dressed in several layers of sweaters and wearing his cap backwards, the Babe would start out just after dawn and customly hack out 54 holes before dinner. That's a lot of golf. Okay.
Oh, I got something about the 54. Can I interrupt your story for 2 seconds?
Sure.
So I was talking to my brother, and he was asking me about LIV golf and what was going on with the merger and all this and that. This is how dumb I am. I didn't realize that LIV is 54.
Oh,
I knew that it was 54, but I didn't know that that's exactly what that meant and that they play 54 holes. I was dumbfounded. Like, stupid me.
So, around the world, It's called the 54 Tour.
Okay.
Only in America do we call it the Live Tour.
We always have to do things differently, right?
Well, that's how you read it. There's no Romans here.
We still have we still use tape measures that have feet and yards and inches.
All right. So back to Babe Ruth.
Yes.
He hit 54 holes before dinner. Fairways at the Hot Springs course were lined with thick woods, and in the early days, Ruth was known to spend hours whacking foliage. His game improved over the years, although his demeanor on the links did not. When he topped a drive, Ruth was known to shout expletives instead of 4. And when he sliced balls off the course, the woods and hills were alive with the sound of Ruthenian curses. And witnesses said they could sit on the clubhouse porch and follow his progress just by listening to him by ear
When
to
he
hear him
swung
scream.
when he swung the bat, he kind of like stepped out of the batter's box onto the swing. I wonder if his golf swing is that bad. Like I'm picturing like Charles Barkley up there hitting.
I thought it was interesting to me because I just never picked him to be a golfer. But if you then after this and you watch his swing, it definitely looks like kind of a golfer's swing. You know, it's effortless. Like even when the golfers, pros today, some of the pros like Bryson DeChambeau, he looks like he's about to have a baby before he drives it. But then you can watch, other players. Fred Couples is a good example. He looks like he's just up there casually. He's what's the guy from Caddyshack that Chevy Chase played? He kind of looks like, it reminds me of that guy. He's just like, but yet he's still hitting at 300.
Right.
And so I could see how Babe Ruth got into golf after baseball, and I just didn't know that part about him. I thought that was interesting. There's a lot of things I'm learning from having this show. I'm a historian at heart.
Look up
Wilt
Chamberlain and volleyball after the NBA. He started playing professional volleyball, owned a team.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's in like the Volleyball Hall of Fame.
There's a Volleyball Hall of Fame.
There's probably like going to be a Hey Peanuts Sports Show Hall of Fame at some point.
I would hope so. I hope so. It'll be salty, or maybe candy peanuts. So, again, guys, they're starting to get the food ready. I can smell it over here. It's going to be a big event.
Yeah, everybody's starting to come in.
Yeah, you guys going to come down here to the Jus1More Sports Bar. It's on the corner of 7th Avenue and 12th Street in Beaver Falls.
10th Street.
They told me 12th.
I'm reading it right now.
I am reading it right now.
7th Avenue and 10th Street.
10th Street. Why did she tell me 12th Street?
She was off to, that's all. Hey, wait, I'm off to all day long sometimes.
It's the heat. It's got to be the heat. And I've been in it. Let me tell you, the roofing business is tough out there when it's this time of year. Drink water. I think I drank 12 pack of water. Was that Monday? Monday and yesterday. It was so hot.
What's nice under this tent here? It's a nice cool breeze. They got a couple tents set up down here.
Yeah, it feels good right now. Got to get down here. We're going to have the coaches reunion, coaches corner reunion. There's going to be a lot of high school coaches.
Some referees.
Yeah. There'll be some referees. They're going to relive the past, is my understanding. So lots of tables and chairs set up. Looks like there's going to be
They're putting out some food here shortly, it looks like.
Looks like there's going to be a bar outside.
There is a bar, I see.
There is a bar outside. So, anyhow, I have no idea.
So anyway, Scott, we're going to a break right now.
Okay. I've been doing this to him. He's not looking at me. All right, so you've been listening to the Hey Peanut Sports Show. Appreciate it. You listened to 99.3 WBVP and 95.7 WNBA. Also, you've been listening to 1230 and 1460 on the AM. If you need some roofing done, call TAMKO and TEK Roofing at 412-969-1167, and we'll be back.
After any big game, people will be talking. This is Ellen Bross from Falcone's Moon Township Ford. The same is true when you get your new vehicle from Falcone's Moon Township Ford. Neighbors, friends, and co-workers will notice the new winning style reflected in the car, truck, or SUV you just got from Falcone's Moon Township Ford. Located on University Boulevard, across from Robert Morris. Click and save at moonford.com and discover what the talk is all about. Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
Jus1More Sports Bar and Grill on Main Street in Beaver Falls is the place to be every day of the week. Jus1More Sports Bar and Grill has daily lunch and drink specials, wing specials on Mondays and Thursdays, Taco Tuesday deals, calzones on Wednesdays, and fish on Fridays. Jus1More has creative cocktails and a large draft beer selection on tap. Jus1More has a Monday through Friday happy hour from 5 to 7 p.m. If you're looking for delicious food and daily deals, you need to stop in at Jus1More Sports Bar and Grill in Beaver Falls.
Did you know that if you have the ability to listen to the radio, you have the ability to dig a ditch? It's true. By renting the right equipment from D&G Rentals in Beaver Falls, you can turn big projects into simple ones. So if you can master your cell phone, you can probably build a new patio or pour a new sidewalk. You already have the know-how, you just don't have the right tools. And that's where D&G Rentals comes in. Visit dgrent.com. So remember, if you can change the channel, you can probably change a transmission with a little help from D&G Rentals.
Beaver County Radio is your source for local news in Beaver County and surrounding areas. Tune in weekdays starting at 6:30 a.m. for news reports at the top and bottom of each hour with Curtis Walsh. Eddie Crow has afternoon news at the bottom of each hour, and news correspondents Sandy Giordano and Matt Durzik have reports from local school board and municipal meetings. You can also follow Beaver County Radio on our website at beavercountyradio.com and our Facebook page for breaking news as it happens. With all that coverage, you don't need to go anywhere else but Beaver County Radio News and beavercountyradio.com. Tune in every Saturday morning at 8:30 a.m. for another insightful edition of Living Well, a special segment on Beaver County Radio designed to help you enjoy the best, most fulfilling, and healthiest life possible. Hosted by Dr. Joseph Maroon and Jeff Boast, and presented by St. Barnabas. Living Well, Saturday mornings at 8:30. Right here on Beaver County Radio, WBVP Beaver Falls, WMBA Ambridge, along with 99.3 FM and 95.7 FM.
Shingles and stuff.
Do that.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Hey Peanut Sports Show. I don't have any sound there, Curtis.
I can hear you. Just keep on going, brother.
So, brought to you by TAMKO Building Supplies and TEK Roofing Specialist. Proudly installing the latest shingle on the market, the Titan XT. Able to withstand winds and warranted up to winds up to 160 miles an hour, which doesn't seem like you would need here in Pennsylvania, but when the windstorms hit, they hit for 160 mile an hour for about 5 minutes, and if your roof's not taken care of, it's gone. And you'll be calling me. But get ahead of the game. Let's go ahead and install a new TAMKO Titan XT shingle on your roof today. You can go to tamko.com. Read all about it. It is an interactive site. You can pick your color. You can pick the kind of house that you kind of have, the color of siding or brick or rock or whatever it is, and then they'll let you put that shingle interface the color so that you can get a better idea of what that color is going to look like. It's a really neat site. It explains everything about the warranty, explains everything about the shingle and why this shingle is better than any other shingle on the market right now. And we are very, very proud to be installing them. We're certified, licensed, and insured here at TEK Roofing. Again, it's 412-969-1167. Before we wrap up the show, I want to remind everybody to get down here to the Jus1More Sports Bar on the corner of 7th Avenue and 10th Street in Beaver Falls. You can't miss it. There's some giant canopies in the back. There's a bar set up. It looks like it's getting ready to get rowdy up in here with some Coach's Corner reunion. I'm going to stick around, and we got a little bit more time. We want to talk about.
We want to talk about a little bit Penguins?
Well, we're hunting down somebody. Or do you think we should get this guy, this Carlson guy from San Jose?
I just don't know how they're going to make the deal. But, yeah, Erik Karlsson is, I guess, been narrowed down to 2 teams, and the Penguins are one of them. He's a great fit here. I think he'd be great on the power play, and I know that would be 2 defensemen on the power play, but I still like it. He's 33. He's $11.5 million a year. Now you have to see how much the Sharks will take of that because we don't have $11.5 million
for our cap, right? Unless we get rid of somebody.
And we could have him for the next 4 seasons. And you think with Crosby, Malkin, and Letang that's about it. I mean, that might be stretching that window with those same guys if you want to compete. Because without Karlsson, we basically have the same team that we had last year. And they didn't make the playoffs. I think Carlson makes us maybe not a contender, but at least a playoff caliber team. Maybe win around and maybe get hot. See what Jari can do in the playoffs.
I still like the Jari signing. I know
he was the best bang
guy
for your
there.
buck. You know, I mean, what are you going to do? There was no better goalie out there that you were going to get. So,
I think hockey it tends to sometimes be a trending thing. Okay, we didn't make the playoffs, so we're going the wrong direction because we're used to being in the playoffs. So it was 15 years in a row they were in the playoffs.
I think Crosby. We missed Crosby's first season, and then when Malkin came back from Russia,
and it wasn't like they were the Pirates at the break. They were in contention all year, and they were out by maybe a game or two, and the team that beat them went to the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
They didn't win it,
we
but
haven't
they
been
went.
good since the Capitals beat us in, 2018? Yeah, 2018. But I do have a little NBA news.
Is it don't slap me. I'm Britney Spears.
I was wondering where you were going with that. So as we all know, Victor Wembanyama, the 7'5" Frenchman, 19-year-old kid, I guess was out and about, and I guess he has some security. You know, he's like the multi-million-dollar kid now.
Right.
And from my understanding is Britney Spears, you know, probably like one of my like crushes in high school and early college. I mean, she was my crush, and by the way, she still looks great.
But she's old enough to be his mother and maybe
and I guess
grandmother.
maybe she wanted to get a picture with him and tapped him or something, and their security said that she grabbed him, so he just slapped her.
And then, from what I understand, he said, "You know how it is." That's what the security guard told him.
Well, I'm
wondering what she told him, but I'm not. I shouldn't say that on the air. It's a family show.
We'll keep that. Yeah.
Right.
But I did get to see the number 1 draft pick overall, Victor Wembanyama, play against the number 2 draft pick overall, Miller, and it was highly disappointing.
From both of them. But now they've played since, and he's put up some good performances since. But that first game was definitely
he was
not
like 2 for
good.
13. He had 5 blocks. He actually had 7, but they called 2 of them fouls, and they weren't fouls. So he's on the defensive end. He's going to be a force. He's a great help defender. He weighs about 209, but he looks like he weighs about a 159.
Right.
But I think he'll put on some weight. You know, it's going to take a year or two to get the weight. But they did shut him down. And I guess it's probably just for health reasons. Like, yeah, we saw him play a couple games because they were probably getting pressured from ESPN or whomever to have him on TV, so they got some ratings, and now they're just shutting him down for the rest of the summer league. So we won't see him till the NBA starts back up again.
Right. I don't think he's going to get a lot of weight. I think he's going to be a Mutombo or a Hakeem Olajuwon.
Well,
he's
I'm saying if he gained 20, 25 pounds, that's probably the
He
max
might just get
He's
some
not going to turn
facial
into
hair.
Charles Barkley.
He hasn't old enough to
Zion
get facial.
Williamson. Yeah, he's got to get facial hair first.
Right. He's not that old yet, so I understand where you're going with that. But I do think he's going to be a really positive impact to the San Antonio Spurs. I think they're going to finally – because they were
I
terrible
was a
last year.
huge Tim Duncan fan.
But they were terrible last year, and I guess he retired. Did Popovich retire?
No, Pop is there.
He's there.
Pop is there.
Well, there was rumors about him retiring last year.
Once you know you're getting the number 1 draft pick overall, you're just like, maybe I'll stick around.
Yeah. Right.
Well, we got about
Because
he's got
as many
5 minutes left.
He's got as many rings as just about any coach out there.
Oh yeah, well that was all Tim
Phil
Duncan.
Jackson. Phil Jackson has the most.
Right, because the Spurs got 5 with Tim Duncan. They should have had 6. They lost in the 13 finals.
Detroit?
No, to the Miami Heat with
LeBron,
LeBron James.
That's right. That's right.
So,
they beat Detroit, but they
'cause
also
Allen
lost
hit
to Detroit too, right? When they back-to-back years, it was Detroit and San Antonio, and Detroit one year, San Antonio one next year, around 2004, 2005, somewhere around there.
No, it would have been 2005, or was it 2003? It was one of those 2 years. 2004, Detroit won it, and I believe
2000.
they beat Detroit the next year. Yeah, so we played 2005. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, what have you heard about the Bulls? Because I saw some action in the bullpen, so to speak, in Chicago.
What moves are they making?
Well, I got to pull that up.
Well,
we were going to talk about something else, and now I got to switch this.
That's okay, because I saw all of the players in the NBA get these massive contracts over the last week or so. they're getting $100 million contracts, and they're just like role players, and I don't get where the money's coming from. What are you looking up over here?
Javon Freeman, Liberty. He's this new little gym they found.
Okay.
Right?
I like
in the
there's
summer league.
Scoot Henderson, he got hurt in his first game. I was hoping that he would. I'd get to see him this summer, but it's not looking like I am.
I don't know. To me, I feel like there's going to be an uprising. Something's coming out of Chicago. Something Winnie's happening in Chicago, and I don't know what. I get these gut feelings in the NBA.
You had gut feelings the Pirates are going to win 88 games too.
That's not over yet.
How's your gut feeling right now?
Feels fine.
41 and 49.
I
think I mentioned that
we're
once or twice
21
today.
games away from being better than last year. So,
well,
there's still 70 games to play. So I think we'll be all right.
So we got 15 to go before the trade deadline. We got the Giants at home, then the Terry Francona-led Cleveland Guardians at home, and of course my dad says, guess what? Cleveland's here when we're on vacation.
Oh.
So I can't even go to the games. I was actually going to go to these games.
One of my best friends of all time is from Cleveland. He's a big Cleveland fan, but I have to go get him, bring him down here. I want to take him to the game. And
I met that guy once.
Yeah, David. But anyhow, he's going to Nashville. This is where we're from. He's going to Nashville weekend, so he can't even make it. But I really want to go to what you're talking about next. Like I want to go to Anaheim and see this Ohtani kid for myself, and see if we can beat him. Because the team he's on is no good.
Yeah, the Angels, they were in second place for a while. Now they're in fourth. They are 45 and 45. And so you're saying they're no good, but we're good, and we're 41 and 49. Anyway, we're at the Padres after that, and then we have the Phillies at home. But
do you think if we had Shohei Ohtani, we'd be 41 wins?
No.
We would probably be on pace for 88. We don't have that guy. That guy we had got hurt in the first month.
Brubaker. I don't think Brubaker's the same.
No, O'Neill Cruz. He's the future of the Pirates organization. I said that at the beginning of the year. I still believe that's the case. I hope he comes back from the ankle 100%. Yeah.
He looked like Gregory Polanco running the bases out there.
I think his foot – it said it was an awkward slide. It stuck. So I still think we have a chance for 88. When it gets to where we don't have a chance in 88, I'm sure we'll be on the radio. You'll tell me all about it.
We got there in the month of June. Did you remember that?
If we go
and
another
July
month,
was even worse.
Let's say we go this next month 20-8. What's our record? 61 and 57. So we're 4 games above 500, and then we probably have a pretty good chance of making 88. The teams that we play down the road will be the difference. And like you said, we don't play anybody really good. Even though Cleveland's in first place, they stink.
Well, the Phillies are 48
we should beat
41.
Them.
Yeah, you got the Angels, the Padres, and Cleveland. They're all kind of like us, around the 500 mark.
We should be able to take care of the Giants at home. We should be able to take care of the Cleveland at home. I'm curious about how we'll do in Anaheim, but 3 out of 4 games the rest of the way. If you play to win the game, it's possible. If you play for next season, and we're going to win next season, you're not gonna get it.
Wow.
So, you got one thing else to say? Because I'm fixing the sponsor. Okay. Thank you guys for listening to the Hey Peanut Sports Show. Make sure you get down here to 7th Avenue and 10th Street at the Jus1More Sports Bar here in Beaver Falls.
It is beautiful out. You got to get down here.
The people are starting to roll in. You've been listening to 99.3 WBVP and 95.7 WNBA, also 1230 and 1460 on your AM dial. Be sure to call 412-969-1167. There is a couple of weeks left. If you mention the Hey Peanut Sports Show, you get 10% off. I really had fun. This is our first
awesome
time. I can't wait to do another on-site show. If you go on to Beaver County Facebook Live, leave some comments. Let's hear what you have to say, and we'll see you next week. Brian is going out of town. He's going to call in, but we are going to have a 2-hour show next week, and Joel will be my guest.
I'll call in.
Brian's going to call in for sure, and then Tegan from TAMKO, or the TAMKO representation guy, he's going to come. He's a really nice guy. Can't wait till you meet him. He's a Cleveland fan, so be sure to call in next Wednesday and let the Guardian have it. It was great having the show tonight, guys. You guys have fun. And like I said, stay tuned. You got 3 hours of the Coach's Corner.
Jus1More Sports Bar and Grill on Main Street in Beaver Falls is the place to be every day of the week. Jus1More Sports Bar and Grill has daily lunch and drink specials, wing specials on Mondays and Thursdays, Taco Tuesday deals, calzones on Wednesdays, and fish on Fridays. Jus1More has creative cocktails and a large draft beer selection on tap. Jus1More has a Monday through Friday happy hour from 5 to 7 p.m. If you're looking for delicious food and daily deals, you need to stop in at Jus1More Sports Bar and Grill in Beaver Falls.